The newly announced 30% on the European Union and Mexico set to go into effect on August 1st.
For Canada, we are only going to accept the best deal for Canada. That is very much informed.
Imagine this: $120 billion, 30% tariffs, and no U.S. customs checkpoints. Yes, you heard that right. No customs checkpoints at all. Now, let that sink in for a moment. Canada and Mexico just unleashed a trade move that's bound to send shockwaves through Washington. And it's not just a small tweak to the system. This is a game-changing shift that will completely shake up how goods move across the continent. What's more, they've already put the wheels in motion. And you won't believe what they're building. In just a few minutes, you're going to see why this new trade route is turning heads and making U.S. policymakers nervous. Stick with us, because by the end of this video, your entire perspective on North American trade will be turned upside down. Number 1. The shocking new trade route. So, what exactly is the Northern Corridor? It's a bold, brand new rail and port system that is completely bypassing the U.S., sending goods directly from the Pacific to the Gulf. This isn't just a small detour either. We're talking about a colossal 9,200 kilometers of track that completely avoids American soil. And here's what's riding on this track: steel coils, electric vehicle batteries, soybeans, the very things that fuel industries and drive economies. In fact, the total value of the goods crossing this new route will surpass the entire 2024 auto payroll in Detroit. Let that sink in. Now, here's the kicker. The U.S. is about to lose a mind-boggling $4 billion in annual customs fees. Gone. Just like that. What does that mean for the U.S.? Higher prices at places like Home Depot, fewer cars rolling off assembly lines, and a hole in the federal budget that's so big, it's practically the size of Nebraska's entire GDP. But hold on, it gets worse. This isn't just about lost money, it's about lost influence. As Canada and Mexico build this powerhouse trade route, the U.S. is left scrambling to figure out how to stop the freight train from leaving the station. Stay with us, because this is just the tip of the iceberg. Number 2. The Northern Corridor's power play. You won't believe what happens next. The U.S. is about to slap a massive tariff on steel and auto parts. August 1st is the deadline. But instead of just grumbling about it, Canada and Mexico acted fast. And I mean fast. They've just launched a $3.3 billion initiative to build an entirely new trade highway. One that spans across rail and ports, from Prince Rupert in Canada all the way down to Mazatlan in Mexico. This is no mere idea or political grandstanding. This is real infrastructure. Canada and Mexico are already putting money where their mouths are, creating a high-speed, cost-efficient route that will move goods faster than ever before, and in many cases, cheaper than anything the U.S. can offer. Here's the wild part. The U.S. might not even be involved. Not only could this bypass the tariffs entirely, but the U.S. could lose out on major revenue and influence over North American trade. As Canada and Mexico solidify their hold on the trade route, it's starting to look like they're setting the rules, not Washington. So, who's really in control of North America now? Is it the White House and its tariffs, or have two neighboring countries just built a shortcut around it? The balance of power is shifting, and it's happening faster than you think. Number 3. The pressure builds. This isn't just another trade route, it's game-changing. Think of it as the Panama Canal, but on rails. With the Northern Corridor, goods are not only moving faster, they're skipping all the costly tariffs that would normally weigh them down. And get this, exporters could save up to 7% on their delivery costs. That's a huge advantage. But, for the U.S., it's a massive loss of leverage. Why? Because U.S. Customs can't tax a train that never even crosses the border. Experts are already calling this regulatory seepage. As goods follow this new bypassing path, Washington will lose the ability to enforce its tariffs. And that's a revenue sinkhole that could get deep, fast. Now, here's the kicker. The higher the tariff, the quicker freight will divert. And it's already happening. U.S. factories are feeling the heat. A recent survey revealed that 41% of auto parts suppliers are seriously considering moving parts of their operations to Canada or Mexico if these tariffs stick. That means fewer jobs and less manufacturing in the US. And Canada and Mexico are waiting with open arms. The pressure is mounting, and this shift could completely reshape the landscape of North American manufacturing. Buckle up, because this is only the beginning. Number 4. Speed, money, and the bigger picture. Let's break this down. Canada is already ahead of the curve. They've invested billions into upgrading the Pacific Gateway, transforming it into a seamless high-speed trade hub. Prince Rupert's Port is now processing more cargo than ever before, and it's only going to get bigger. Meanwhile, Mexico isn't sitting idly by. They're matching the pace with a $1.6 billion investment to upgrade 6 major ports across the country. Together, these two countries are building a trade system that's practically unstoppable. And here's where it gets really interesting. The US is now falling behind. As Canada and Mexico pour resources into this mega-trade route, fewer trucks are crossing US borders, and fewer customs fees are being collected. What does that mean? Well, it's not just a financial hit. It's about losing the power to control trade in North America. The Northern Corridor isn't just about moving goods more efficiently. It's about shifting the balance of influence. Canada and Mexico are positioning themselves to lead the charge, while the US risks watching from the sidelines, powerless to stop the freight train leaving the station. It's not just lost revenue, it's lost leverage. And with every mile of track laid, Washington's grip on North American trade is loosening. Stay tuned, because this shift is happening faster than you think. Number 5. The US feels the loss. Let's put this into perspective. 10% of the $1.6 trillion in trade that flows between the US, Canada, and Mexico could easily be rerouted, bypassing US soil entirely. That's $160 billion in cargo that could skip US ports altogether. And this isn't just about losing a few customs fees. This is a massive hit to the US economy, one that could result in billions of dollars in lost duties and taxes. A revenue stream that's right up there with the IRS in terms of importance. But it doesn't stop there. Consumers are going to feel this too. Even a slight dip in port traffic could lead to higher prices across the board. Think about it. A small reduction in imported goods could translate into a 4-cent increase per dollar on everything from electronics to clothing to food. That might sound small, but it adds up quickly, and consumers will be paying the price every time they head to the checkout. The Northern Corridor is already threatening to disrupt the flow of goods, and the ripple effect could hit Americans hard. Higher costs at the store, less money for Washington, and a whole lot of lost economic control. This isn't just a trade issue, it's a consumer issue, and it's one that could snowball into something much bigger. Number 6. The real pressure, factories and jobs. Now, let's talk about where the real pressure hits. The factories. The US auto industry, particularly Detroit, is already feeling the pinch. With the Northern Corridor in full swing, manufacturers in the US will be competing for the same Canadian steel that used to flow freely across US borders. This is going to drive prices up and make it more expensive for US car manufacturers to keep production lines running smoothly. But it's already happening. General Motors recently slashed jobs at one of their Ontario plants due to the uncertainty surrounding tariffs. And here's the kicker. If this trend continues, it won't just be a few jobs lost here and there. We could be looking at hundreds of thousands of manufacturing jobs at risk across the continent. And this isn't just about numbers on a spreadsheet. It's about real people whose livelihoods depend on these factories. Workers, from assembly line staff to welders and factory cooks, are already feeling the strain. If the Northern Corridor expands, that strain is only going to grow. As factories face higher costs, uncertain supply chains, and the threat of outsourcing, the ripple effect will be felt across entire communities. Families could be left without work, businesses could be forced to shut their doors, and local economies could crumble. This isn't just a trade deal. It's a life-changing economic shift. The stakes are high, and we're only beginning to see the fallout. Stick around, Because the impact of this trade route is about to be felt far beyond the factory floor. Number 7. What's next? The countdown. And the clock is ticking, fast. The first double-stack train will be leaving Prince Rupert tomorrow. And here's the kicker. It's leaving before Trump's tariffs even go into effect. The Northern Corridor is already rolling, and it's not waiting for Washington to make up its mind. So, what happens next? Will the U.S. double down, pushing these tariffs even harder and risking the further diversion of freight? Or will Canada and Mexico, with their growing infrastructure, continue to build a trade route so powerful that it could permanently shift the balance of power in North America? This isn't just about tariffs anymore. It's about who controls the future of trade on this continent. Washington's move now has the potential to either accelerate this shift or force a course correction that could cost billions. And as each day passes, it's becoming more and more clear that Canada and Mexico are setting the pace. The question is, will the U.S. keep up, or will it get left behind? Stay tuned, because the next chapter of this story is about to unfold, and it's going to have major consequences for trade and for you. Conclusion. This $120 billion trade artery isn't just a shortcut. It's a game changer. Canada and Mexico have now created the infrastructure to completely bypass the U.S. toll booth, shifting the entire balance of power in North American trade. So here's the big question. Will Washington swallow its pride and cut a deal, or will it stand firm and watch its trade empire crumble under pressure? The stakes couldn't be higher, and what happens next could redefine the future of North American trade forever. You don't want to miss what comes next in this unfolding story. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and let us know what you think in the comments. Do you believe the U.S. will blink first, or will Canada and Mexico race ahead with their new trade route? Your prediction could help shape tomorrow's headlines, and we're here for every moment of it. Drop your thoughts below, because the future of North America is about to be rewritten.